The next series of films deal with my family living in Bloomington, Indiana, and the films will go from September of 1961 through about
64.
1964. Now, we're looking at, first time I've seen this in a long time, the Knightsbridge Road. I remember saying at the time, we are truly living on the new frontier. This was when Kennedy had just been, was running for election. He hadn't won yet, but he was talking about the new frontier. And I felt that I was living on the new frontier. This is really out in the boonies of southern Indiana. And if you look closely, you will see a dog in front of the door. I don't know where this, I believe the dog's name was Cynthia. And
It wasn't Peaches.
no, it was, I believe the name was Cynthia. Well, anyway, that was the homestead for about 2.5 years. There's another view without the dog being there. All this property now is underwater. It's part of Lake Lemon in Indiana. Lemon was a famous mayor of Bloomington way back then. In the fall of October 8th, here is Ethan Paul when he is exactly 1 month old in a bassinet. That is Ethan Paul, 1 month old. Now, in the foreground will be the cabin, and this is the little hill that my car had to climb every day when I was attending Indiana University. Up the road and to the left, and it was about under 10 miles to the college. Across the field there was a farmer who had beagles, and he didn't take very good care of them. There's Ethan Paul. In November, this is now on the birthday, he was exactly 2 months old to the day, November 1961. There's Ethan Paul in his dress uniform in the summer of 1962. And there's Ethan Paul eating alone, holding a spoon and eating alone.
I think that was, the picture said eating alone for the first time.
Yeah. And now we come to the big event. He was 1 year old. Boy, I tell you, Gail looks like her mother in that picture.
That's because that is Grandma.
Oh, is it? Oh, I don't know. Well, it could be.
Yeah, I think that's Grandma.
There's Gail with Ethan Paul the morning before first baby, September 8th, before first baby. Ethan Paul morning before first baby, September 1961, but it had to be 62.
Yeah, it's the morning of his first birthday.
Boy, with Ethan Paul here, we have a lot of first. There he is getting a haircut,
His first haircut.
his very first haircut on September 8th.
I don't think he's too happy about that.
You know, I think Ethan Paul will definitely love to see these old pictures of him when he was just
Is that your barber?
I don't even, my haircut, it was always, I believe the haircut was given up
I'm surprised Mom
in
didn't.
Wyandotte.
I'm surprised Mom didn't cut your guys'.
She did, she cut my hair. Now, this is, Ethan Paul in the fall of 62, smiling. He looks a little bit like Paulo now, his son, with the eyes.
Mhm.
Yeah, he almost looks like Paulo.
Looks like he's got some peas.
And we always kept the kids in a playpen. Now, while I was in Bloomington, this was about Christmas of 1962, a month before I started my first teaching job. I had a hernia operation. And this was after the operation. Here I am sitting in my bathrobe. I still have the bathrobe, by the way, in the closet. Haven't used it in years. With Ethan Paul, I had a double hernia. Painful.
What were you doing when you got it?
Well, it was just a weak lining. My father had hernia problems, and I did. I've had 3 hernia operations. This was the first, and then a few years ago, I had on one side. The lining is weak. Let's see what this is here.
There's Ethan Paul through the window.
I see Ethan Paul through the window. I'm going to skip this for a minute because I have a story to tell. There's Ethan Paul looking out the window. My car was parked here. I don't know if this is...
Here being in front of the house where the footprints were.
Yes, and stupid me, I put the car in neutral instead of park, and it rolled straight down. It was aiming for the window, and Ethan Paul was smiling. And I thought, oh my God, he's going to get killed. He's going to go right into the house, the window, he'll be flattened. But at the last moment, it veered to the left and into the woods. Maybe we'll see it here, I don't know. We had a lot of snow, and to go up the road was quite a... I had to park the car on top of the hill because when we had bad weather, it was difficult to go up this hill. And I don't know if I was coming down or what, but I must have parked it there.
What kind of car is that?
I have no idea, and if the Gilmers were here, they would tell me. Now we're going to see the back side of the cottage. This is the back door of the cottage. I remember the first winter we were there in the fall, it had a stoker for coal, and I had never used a stoker before. I ordered a ton of coal to be delivered, I think through the store in the center there, and I ordered the wrong kind of coal. Instead of the small bits of coal, a ton of it, I ordered blocks. Well, you don't put a block into... so it stayed there until it's probably at the bottom of Lake Lemon.
Did you try to like chip it away?
No, it would have been, I thought of the idea, but... And here's another view of the, as you can see, this is the back of it. It's a log cabin. To the right was the annex there. This is where Gail and I lived. One of the winters, I don't know if it was the first or second, maybe both, it was so cold in there was no heating. Her perfume bottles froze, literally froze. The baby was in this area there. This was the dining room and the kitchen. And I remember we had some cats, and the place was full of mice, especially in wintertime. And I remember one night, the cats went, I think we had one or two cats, but at least we had a cat. It killed 7 mice. We saw the remains of 7 mice. Ooh, what a way to live. Yes. Okay. I have to hit this twice. Be nice to do that. Okay. A month after my operation, in December, I was hired by the Nashville Community Schools, and they had me teaching a remedial class of, I think, junior high school kids, and so I don't know what grade that was. It must have been maybe 7th or 8th grade, but it was remedial. And here I took a picture of them studying. I see 2 kids here that I don't know their names, but I remember their nicknames. This fellow here, he was a little bit chubby. They called them Ham Bone. And the other one was called T-Bone, because he was very thin. And this is way back in 1963, my very first teaching position.
What grade was it?
I think it was a mixture of 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. The kids look like they were all in about 7th grade, maybe even 8th grade. Quite a large class, and they were very well behaved. My first class at Nashville, but I'm not there though. I'm having the students, I think, at my desk.
You're probably taking the picture.
I'm taking the picture, and I wish I could see what's on the board, but I can't. Wow. That's all I have to say is wow. Now, we're back the winter of 1963. We are living now in Bart Villa, in the basement of Bart Villa. You can see
Which is a
the
basement
walls.
garden apartment.
Yes, and there's Ethan Paul reading a paper, probably of the assassination of Kennedy. Oh, now I graduated from a blue car to a station wagon. We had a Rambler. And there's Ethan Paul in May of 1964 at Bart Villa. And there's the complex of Bart Villa. We were located, we had to go through this door here and then down the stairs,
Which is the
the right side. And then later on, maybe the last year there, we moved upstairs to an apartment on the first floor. I think that's right. If not, Gail will correct me on that. There were the 2 kids. May of '64, so Philip was 1 year old, and Ethan Paul was almost 3, yeah.
And Mom's pregnant with Mary.
Yes. Now, here's Philip. Now this, he was an awful child.
Yeah.
No, not really. That's Philip,
As long as I can keep it up.
yeah. me and the boys, Paul, Philip, I had hair. How old was I then? Let's see. I was 31 years old, 33. Yes, I was 31 years old. Here are the two kids that I bathed
Dynamic duo.
in '64. What am I holding? No, that's not that. Is that?
Looks like someone's foot.
No. Is it Paul and Philip? Yeah. Oh, this I have to see. English 10, Section 1. I was teaching in an English class, believe it or not. But before I put it on, I think, and I haven't seen this, but if it's the last day of school in May of '64, the kids must have been outside. See if I'm right. Ah, yes. There they all are, sitting out there. And I took them out so I could take a picture of them. And, wow.
What subjects were you teaching?
Well, here, I taught American history, but they also gave me an English class, English 10, Section 1, and I don't know what we did, to tell you the truth. Oh, this should be interesting. Oh, since it was the last day of school, this is I had a study room, a study class, and I had them go outside, and I took a picture of them. I wonder whatever happened to those students. 64. That's 50 years ago. 50 years ago, almost to the month. So those kids now are,
Late 60s.
those kids now are 50. They're probably just getting ready for Social Security, 65, right? Am I right? 50 and 15. Oof. That makes you stop and think. There is English section 3. You notice how the kids are dressed?
Very conservatively.
Yeah. In Brown County. Yeah. Now, these are two people. These were colleagues. Paul Hagberg on the left, was an interesting fellow, and John Chafin. He was always reading and talking about the tales of the Arabian Nights, and quoting from it. I think I would presume he turned out to be a scholar. He loved ancient literature, the fables of Aesop's fables. That's what I'm trying to think of. Aesop's fables.
Are those their cars?
Yeah. Maybe this is mine. I don't know. And here we go again on this one.
Oh, that's the last.